Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Talk podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Vignesh, and I'm one of the hosts of Real Talk. This podcast was started by the youth from Community Living Ontario Youth Movement called Reaction for Inclusion. Our goal is to teach youth and adult allies how to create more inclusive and accessible communities. I am so excited to be here today with our guest, Raj Stalin, an employment services specialist from Community Living Toronto. Welcome, Raj.
Hi everyone. This is Raj. Thank you so much for having me, Vignesh and Lashana. My pleasure. I'm gonna start off with a little bit about myself. My full name is Roger Gokul Stalin. I am working as an employment services and digital outreach specialist at Community Living Toronto. I have about 4.5 years work experience across customer service, sales, and employment services. I worked with clients from Asia, Europe, Australia to North America, including Canada. I'm from India. Some I worked from India, and others I worked here from Canada. And I've been part of Community Living Toronto's employment services team since November 2022. Until last year, mid 2024, I was working closely with employers. Talking more about specifically for we have our employment platform, My Job Match, talking more about the platform, bringing in more opportunities specifically for job seekers with disabilities until last year. And from May 2025, I started working closely with clients. So I do things all the way from intake assessments, managing referrals, client engagement, all to connecting job seekers with meaningful employment. And I'm really proud to be part of the team. Outside that, I'm also a professional dancer. I compete nationally. I salsa for salsa, bachata, and I do a little bit of Latin rhythms. I'm a big dance fan. The music and dance, that's my another side. So that's a little bit about me. Thanks.
That's so cool. Today, Raj and I will be talking about his work supporting job seekers with disabilities to find employment. We'll hear about Raj's experience, what led him to the work he does today, and we'll learn some strategies for navigating the job search. So, Raj, before we jump into our discussion, can you please share a bit about yourself and your work at Community Living Toronto?
Yeah, sure. I am, as I mentioned before, my 4.5 years experiences span across customer service, sales, and employment services. So my work with Community Living Toronto right now is more towards clients. So I'm at specifically speaking, I'm supporting my 32 clients under my caseload too, different types of disability challenges and all from in terms of the responsibilities, yes, client intake assessment, uh, consultations to know more about where they've been, where they are at right now and where they want to go, what kind of skills, the gap they have so that we can better support. And then also just to have every appointment they have with clients, just to understand them more, to better support them. And yeah, so Better Jobs, lately I've been closely working with Better Jobs Ontario for job seekers with disabilities as well, through Employment Ontario. So that's like some of the things that I'm doing as part of Community Living Toronto's employment support stream. Every day is new. Yeah, you have no idea. When you work with someone with a disability, someone could be autistic, someone could be with a Down syndrome, or just as ADHD or any other mental health disability. So every client is different. So I really love when there are challenges to understand and navigate my days some days, but still like I'm really curious every day to meeting someone new and supporting them the best way possible with everything we have.
So you're like kind of like a job coach helping people with disabilities trying to find jobs, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like all the way from when they come in, well, we do the intake assessment, meaning that we get to know them better. And then we start with the resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile optimization. And then if they need any certification, training, so through appointments, we get to know them more. And well, yeah, we are funded through Employment Ontario to better support them. So it's I'm like really excited to be able to like do that like on a day to day basis.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Raj. That was a great introduction to your work. As you have mentioned, are currently an employment specialist at Community Living Toronto. But before that, you studied business marketing. Can you tell us about your journey from marketing to employment and what inspired you to work in employment services?
Okay, that's a really good question. I would say I guess I met my boss the right time. You just aligned that way. So going back to my business marketing certificate, I went to George Brown. Uh, so why I did that program? So back home, I was working in customer support for 2.5 years, and then I got interested towards customer success management. What I am doing right now, it is customer success management, but yeah, and that was my inspiration to even come to Canada. I guess I love the work culture in Canada. I love how the employees, and they are recognized, and how customers recognize them for their service. One of the inspiration behind me coming to Canada back in 2022, and I wanted to pursue my career in customer success management. So that's why I chose strategic. The actual name is strategic relationship marketing. I got to know more towards customer relationship management, yeah, the marketing plans and tools like customer relationship tools and technology to better like facilitate that customer relationship management in a way. But I wasn't thinking about in the disability employment sector. It's interesting how it all happened. I started working with the CLT as my co-op for my co-op as a customer service marketing coordinator back in September 2022. I met my boss at the time, same neighborhood. I live in the Annex neighborhood in Toronto. Met there and then started my co-op. And so when I was doing that, we got the funding for our employment. We have our own employment platform called My Job Match that is tailored towards people with disabilities. So we got the funding for that, and there was an opportunity opened up for me, thankfully. And then I started recruiting employers for that platform. So that's why I mentioned that I was working with employers for like a until mid last year, and then I needed to take some break for my immigration side of things, and then I came back again this early like May this year. Now all about clients, supporting clients and helping them find meaningful employment.
That's how it all started. You started working at the Community Living Toronto as a co-op experience stuff to help you like
Yeah,
get
yeah.
like help learn how to work with people
In
with
3 years, yeah.
disabilities. That's like very like awesome and very good experience for you, Raj. It's a way to like work yourself from the bottom and work yourself up.
Yes, yeah, yeah, exactly. I really like I got to know a lot about people with specifically intellectual disabilities through all the events I went to, and the people that I provided help. So yes, yeah, it taught me a lot, and it is teaching me a lot every day.
hmm Thanks for sharing, Raj. It is interesting to see how you started in one field and ended up in another that you're really passionate about today. So, going back to our introduction, you mentioned you supporting programs like My Job Match and Now, and you work with directly with clients. Based on your experience, what kind of challenges do people with disabilities often face when looking for work, and how do you help them to overcome those challenges?
Yeah. So yes, the when we have whether or not someone has a disability, when looking for a job, there is always going to be. It's not going to be like, okay, you apply for a couple of jobs, you're going to get the job, right? No. So to me, the starting point is um, have a have some thinking about the things under your control, like from resume, cover letter, your LinkedIn profile, and then certifications, right? So when you have experience and you have, it could be volunteer, it could be work, and then what are certification you can do to really support your experience, and those, like, what are things you can do to differentiate yourself, and that's something. So first have a look at the fundamentals covered, right? Like the resume, cover letter, take a look at the certification. If anything you need to, you can support your experiences. Okay, that's one thing. And the another thing is, ask your, like, we have a lot of different provide service providers across Toronto, GTA, and across Ontario. So ask your, find your, go on Google the providers, because they are funded by the government to provide services. uh, I didn't know when I moved to Canada, I didn't know the employment services. I did everything by on my own, and I faced the struggles. And now, like, if I need, back then, if I needed to pay for my certification or any training or courses, I needed to pay out of my pocket. But now, because I'm in the sector, I know that Employment Ontario is funding that. You just got to ask the right question to an employment consultant when you go, so that that really excels your job search journey. And so take fundamentals covered, ask the right questions. And then one more thing, if I could say, yeah, keep like going to the try connect with people in the industry. So not only that, so if you want to get into let's say the customer support, or okay, customer support is an example. I would say go on LinkedIn or networking events. Try to uh, like know people more, because these days sending online application versus uh, sending through someone who already worked there makes a big difference. Even that's what I try to do every day for my clients, to network with people at the company, so that we can skip that online application and send that, have that connection. So those are the three things I would say.
Mostly, I think I take one tip from you is like from what I learned is like kind of like trying to like network. What I learned from college, like networking is the main skill in like finding jobs and also like getting certificates. Because without like networking, like you won't be able to like find like any jobs or any like certificates or any like news about any job posting comes up. Because without networking the right people, you won't be able like to find the right job fit.
Yeah. And the employment service providers too, because I know that from our experiences, every employment service providers, they do have their own network, and they have their employer partners. So they send jobs to them to recruit, or like especially for their client base, right? Which you don't they don't have they don't necessarily have access if they're not receiving services from them. So that also really helps when you're with the service provider. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Raj. I know a lot of people often struggle with finding employment because there's so many barriers in their way. Sometimes they need individual support, like receiving help, like with writing a resume. But
Yeah.
other times the barriers come from employers not understanding how to support employees with disabilities. Before you also mentioned that you work with employers, what do you usually tell them about hiring and supporting people with disabilities in the workplace?
So the employment, as I mentioned before, the that service providers do have their network of the employer partners. They actually know what the population we serve, so that they are like not necessarily a problem or issue that we need to explain or whatnot. But the employees who do not have that knowledge, someone who I find a connection outside our partners, so like I personally, what I would do is I when I do the intake assessment, I this is something I learned. It's a new role for me, but I something that I have as a best practice. I always note down their accommodations. It's just about getting to know and then communicate that to the hiring person. That makes a big difference. Yeah.
Most of you tell the employer like this person has a he's autistic, but he has great skills that can help. him
Yeah,
help
research.
your company to try to achieve a higher profit, higher revenue, and everything because they have the skills inside themselves to like achieve something that helps them to be successful in life.
When it comes to getting the job done, they are like, okay, they go way above and beyond. And it depends, right? Like, they, it's a gift on its own, in my opinion. Yeah, and it's surprise when I work with clients. I'm always get surprised how many details they notice. They're like, "Oh, I like that color, T-shirt, or like this and that." Something I don't notice, but they do. So that's like, yeah, and they're dedicated as well. They're
Yeah,
really some of them. One of my clients, they've been working 28 years at the Loblaws, moving carts. 28 years.
yeah. For me, like I have like co-op stuff, but mostly like the manager knows that I have a disability, but I have good skills that like doing multitasking, like doing different tasks on my own to help to like get the job cleaned up, make sure
Yeah,
no one gets get hurt, but also interacting with other people by using a positive attitude. Like they know I have a disability, but they know I have good skills that can match them to help their business succeed. Because they
yeah,
help
yeah.
those with disabilities.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you may not communicate the same way like others do, but um, you do the job done, and you do it great. Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Thanks, Raj. We talked about a lot of barriers that people face when looking for a employer, and now I'm interested to learn what job seekers can do to overcome these challenges. So, my next question is, when you're helping people with disabilities preparing for employment, specifically youth who are new to the workforce, what are some key strategies they should use to be successful in finding a job?
yeah. I know that right now they find it difficult to enter the job market because I know we talked about AI, the positive sides of AI. That also AI kind of removed the entry level jobs as well, right? You find there's a lot of like self kiosks, and then the self all the self serve side of things, the automated side that kind of removed a lot of jobs for youth. So, but that's not the end of the world, in my opinion. They can still make a difference because there's a lot of supports available still. The struggle is real. I completely, wholeheartedly acknowledge it, it has changed even since the past 3 years. When I got moved to Canada, I didn't have a lot of issues finding my first part-time job at Tim Hortons as a team member. Only like few months, and when I started looking at, I got it one close to my place. All good. But now even McDonald's, all the like you even if you look at that's where they normally start, right? They want to like get some experience, like coffee shop or uh, like a restaurant or yeah, those small business places they start. So to your answer to your question, so again, so look at your interests. So everyone has different interest. So interest, if see if you can connect one of your interest uh, to to the job, like anything that where you can um, bring some value. Could be
So,
cooking. It could be yeah, reading. In the cooking, well, you can when if it's cooking, you can think about the coffee shops, restaurants, and then the others, libraries, and then um, yeah, go places, meet in person, dropping in your resumes, and um, yeah, I know it can be draining, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
for me, like I can connect with you, Raj. Like you're saying. Like for me, like when I try to like find jobs, like in my last year of high school, it was tough. I applied to Costco, Walmart, Cineplex. They all said no because I don't have in-person job experience, only like online job and volunteer. But that
Yeah,
didn't stop me from like giving up. I did found a job like at McDonald's. They
yeah,
offer like support. They help those with disabilities and offer training support. Plus, it's a good startup job position because a lot of times they ask like you have to have in-person job experience to
mhm.
help you get in to apply to another jobs, like to apply to other jobs. It's like it's tough, but you have to like overcome the challenge.
Yeah. And we also within that context, I also want to say that want to mention that we do community living Toronto. We do have our own social enterprise called Social Brew Cafe. So where we actually train, we have a 8 to 12 weeks program, training paid training program. So they will learn to make coffee, do the cashier, the POS machine side of things, and all the like the and they will get a certificate at the end. And then some of them will move into like a part-time role within Social Brew. That's like one of the options here in Toronto. We have two locations so far, hopefully more in the future as the funding comes. And then we also have another partner, Judy's Beach Cafe, if you're familiar with them. They specifically hire, they recently opened, and they specifically hire people with intellectual disabilities. So, and some of the other coffee shops in Toronto as well, they hire. So we like those places are also like a really good app if they, yeah, to get started.
Thanks, Raj. Those are
Yeah.
great strategies for preparing for employment. As we have heard from you so far, you have worked with so many people over the years, helping them to gain new skills and find jobs. Can you share a story or experience from your work that has been meaningful to you, and what have you learned from it?
Oh, never give up. I have a client, yes. So he came to me not that long ago, to a month and a half, or yeah, month and a half. So they were looking to, they were looking to do like a media. I think it's a videography program at a school. They were working at Farm Boy at the time. They didn't really like the job there, and they quit. And they wanted to do this program, the media video production program. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it to the it's just that some funds, the funding side of things, they couldn't make it to the program. So now they needed to find something full time because they quit the job. This program didn't work out, and this guy, he has been relentless. So you can always, like, it doesn't matter, right? You can always provide all the supports, all the resources that they can leverage, the clients can leverage from your end. But if they sit and not doing nothing, then it's not going to move anything, right? Like they're like, okay, you didn't send me the job, so I'm waiting and I'm waiting this and that. No, then you're not progressing. But this guy, I am sending him jobs, giving him suggestion, job first, job posting, relevant ones. So he was specific after that because the program did not work out. He wanted to start full time so that he can, you can't live in Toronto without a job. It's hard. You need money. You need to support yourself. So he wanted to get into the security field. And so well I we had a, we had appointments, phone calls about what are the things needed. So you need, for security guard, you need you need the certification, the license, all the things. Throughout our appointments, I shared one by one everything. And and when and the job, the relevant job postings, and I helped him apply too. He also did all the things on his end, the research, keep applying for jobs and everything. So within 1.5 to 2 months, he got full time as a security guard with Samson Shield company. One of my biggest success stories. It's not that long ago, but whenever I look at that offer letter he sent to me, I'm like, okay, he is an example for never giving up, even the situations were not really in his control. He never gave up. He used all the resources from us, and he did the effort on his end, and he got the job.
So you took like the initiative and responsibility to like try like listening to you and like providing all the steps and like trying to like get to what he wants in his front door, a
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
It's all about like taking initiative and responsibility because if no one wants to like if you don't take the initiative or responsibility, you'd be like you're gonna be stuck here for like for the rest of your like rest of your life unless you like
yeah,
take one step out of your comfort zone and try new things.
Yeah, always. Even when that's what I tell clients, even when you're working with the service provider, use their resources, but don't wait for them to send you a job. Use it and all. It's like a partnership. That's what I call it. When the partnership happens, success will also happen. Yeah.
That means like working together
Yeah.
with the client and the job coach, helping them
Yeah.
to like work together. If you don't work together, you can't solve your problem.
Yes, exactly.
This has been a great conversation, Raj. I learned so much from listening to you, sharing your strategies and experience, and I'm certain our listeners have learned a lot as well. So, my last question for you today is, what is one piece of advice you have give to youth with disabilities who are starting their job search or exploring career options?
Okay. I would start off with never give up. It doesn't matter whether you have two scales or 10,000 scales. The things you know, whether it's volunteering from your school, really say it like that you are the one person knows that the expert in that, like don't down sell yourself. You're good at reading, you're good at cooking, this painting, dancing, any extracurricular. Really tell them, convince the employer why they should hire you.
So like try try not never give up. You have all the skills inside. You just have to like
Yeah.
believe in yourself and like don't let anyone else tell you what to do. If you want to get something, go get it. Period.
Yeah, go be a go-getter. Yes, that's exactly it is. Yeah. If you don't believe, right, then give them a reason to believe in you. Even when you have something, make it everything. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Raj. It has been great having you on the podcast today. I am so grateful for everything you shared, and I hope these tips will help anyone who is currently looking for a job and inspiring them to keep searching, stay positive, and reach out to local organizations who offer employment support. Thanks again for joining us today, Raj. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners or information about how they can get connected with CLTO?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you're an employer looking to hire inclusively or a job seeker with a disability, community living here is always here to support you. So you can connect us through our email, that is employment services at CL, that is L as in lemon, at .ca. So that's our email. You can, yeah. Or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well, Roger Gokul Stalin. I'm happy to help you connect with our services.
Hmm. Oh, thank you, Raj. All right. Well, that's it for today's episode, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you the next time in another Real Talk. Bye, everyone.